thank you everybody for joining us on another Lighthouse Live. We had some technical issues as always. This is becoming our trademark, I guess. But we'll figure this out. Don't worry. The next year is coming. Everything will be better next year. Everybody will be happy. Everybody will get kisses. Everybody will,
Have Christmas.
exactly. Yes, awesome. So, um, dear guests, welcome to Lighthouse Live. As I said, we have Lighthouse Lives are live events, and we are chatting with some really cool people, authors, AI artists, and of course, the thought leaders from the industry. And that's why we are talking to Justin Hackney right now. I've been knowing Justin for about a year and a half, and I think this is the most busy person in the world. It's so hard to catch him, so I'm so honored for you to be here having a chat with me. So thank you so much for coming, Justin. Um, you have been an inspiration for me. You have been a good friend. I would love to meet you more live, but uh, yeah, exactly. Lives, yeah,
Probably just said it's only been a year and a half. Feels like 3 years or something.
yeah, exactly.
Getting space moving so fast.
It does. Yeah, it does. Wow. All right. So usually I have this structure by, my one of my favorite shows out there is Hot Ones on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know that?
Yeah, I know one.
Yeah, awesome. So let's start with a couple of questions. Are you ready, sir?
Yeah.
We will start easy, and the questions will progress to be more hard, and you will need some imagination to answer all those questions. So let's start with the easy ones. So many people, even people that don't know you, they don't know that when you were a kid, you had a role in a really big movie. Is that so?
Yes.
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 So which movie was it? How did you get the role? And what came after this movie?
Yeah, good question. So I was just a kid really, and it was me faffing around at school on my rollerblades. I could get chased by teachers. They got me noticed by up and coming director at the time called Danny Boyle. And he came up to me and was like, I spoke to your mum, would you like to audition for a film? I was like, doing what? And he was like, being a zombie. And I was like, yeah. um, and there was then like a long process working with their team, like seeing their zombie training, doing prosthetics, all that stuff. But basically came to like just being like a day or two on the set. And it was the first time as a kid that I'd actually seen like a film crew. Not just a film crew, but like a really well-oiled, like solid team. It felt like Danny was doing like a return to, something like a classic Danny kind of operation, slightly lower budget, a lot more control, get all the best people in. And little did I know at the time it would go on to be like a great film 28 days later, like proper cult classic. And yeah, I actually saw the new one recently, which was really refreshing, quite surprising, like twists and turns. But like that was my intro into film, really. And at that stage, I did want to act. Like I was going into RADA school and I had all this kind of stuff lined up. But I was actually more obsessed at this point with the people behind the cameras and everything that was needed for the films to be made, from like editing to like shooting, the lens choices, sound design, post production, like pre production, even like how do you get a job off the ground, when you go from an idea to making something. And that just took me on a mad journey, really. But if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have like jumped so quickly into pursuing creativity, because I quit university just to continue cooking and crafting like documentaries and stuff.
What did you study? What did you quit?
Why did I quit? Because I did find acting fun, but I much preferred improvisation. I quite liked the challenge of being with people. It was quite fun when you were kind of doing improv, and I was like, well, I don't know how much of a like career there is in that. And it was just less exciting. It was like a good path up to a point, but really it was making films and like the craft behind that was like becoming a fascination of mine. And I happened to live right opposite Danny for like 5-6 years, so I was always just really interested in what he was doing, and it set a high bar, obviously, like such a great director. What I kind of did is position myself first within post-production companies, then within TV, then within like commercial, and within commercial I kind of found my feet, because I could really fail fast, like try new things, explore new technologies, new approaches to condensing film or like ideas down, having to work with brands, clients and stuff. It was just a really great like place to cut my teeth.
Yeah. But you didn't end there. You didn't end with Danny. Your relationship continued, right? After the shooting the movie.
Yeah, like I lived up like in this house for like 5 years, like opposite, because we became really good family friends. We were all getting along, and it just happened my parents were like separating. We couldn't be in Bonner Road anymore. I've always lived in like East London, so it was just at that point it all just kind of worked out, and we were like so happy. So there's always been a relationship there. I've kind of like kept him in touch with things we've done over the years. In fact, like when Dali first reached out, when OpenAI reached out like 3.5-4 years almost ago now, before ChatGPT, when it was called Playground, and you had like early Gen 1 and all this sorts of stuff. He actually came round to my house when I'd like blasted loads of photos everywhere, all these kind of generations of early Dali stuff from events, and sat him down and was like, tried to explain the technology and how kind of bonkers it was. And then he was like, give me like I think it was like a guy holding a golden apple with this. It was very interesting, but it was like, it happened, obviously back then it was like 10 images, super quick. First time someone's, a lot of the time when you showed people this technology, it was the first time they'd even seen it.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting to see their reactions to their like first creation.
So when was the moment when you switched from, oh, that is just a nice little toy, right, to, oh my God, this is serious. This is going to change everything.
I mean, yeah, I think I just like as a kid, I always knew, kind of growing up on like Philip K. Dick and Twilight Zone, Black Mirror, like always had a fascination with technology. I grew up like building computer games, or like at least computers to crime police, like use Unity and Unreal and Quake Engine and all these things. So it's I always like kind of knew that AI was going to happen. Obviously, you had the crazy, scary films like Terminator. You had like slightly scary films like Matrix, etc. The idea of like AI and where everything could go and how advanced computer games could get, or how advanced our capabilities around like quantum physics could get, or whatever. Like that's always been there. But I didn't think it would happen so early for a start. I thought it'd be like more start to pick up in like the 30s or something like that, and I also didn't think I would have such a direct kind of inroads to it so early on as well. So I felt like the luckiest guy in the world when OpenAI first reached out. because I knew like Elon had chucked money in like 50 million to it, but I was also like, you know, everything is built. I was just like, wow, this is incredible. Chucking money towards building a company to build AGI. Like, that's the most bonkers thing ever, right? As a mission for a company. And so for them reaching out to play around with their GAN tools and stuff, their language tools, I was like blown away because the stuff I was playing with at that time was like super basic. I mean, by today's standards, it was like 0.1 version kind of Midjourney, if you can imagine. Like, it would just create like sluggy mycelium kind of animal-y, kind of abstract, kind of psychedelic art, really. And it quickly shifted. I mean, the capabilities of DALL-E just blew my mind because it was understanding physics, it was understanding translucency, like lighting, refraction, lens choices. It was like understanding like emotions. It was also responding to questions back then. Like it was a lot less filtered. There were a lot less layers and kind of reinforcement that goes on like now to kind of like make it a certain thing that you like make it better for what you want. Like back then you did kind of get more of the gray space and like the liminal, you know, like you could kind of find random pockets of just absolute bizarre beauty. And well, I said it at the beginning, it's like at some point these are going to be like legacy models.
Yeah.
And I think people will want to play around with them more because it makes you think like, wow, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Whereas now, but click of a finger, I'll give you like hundreds of videos, photorealistic, you wouldn't even know the difference about it being real or not.
Though I don't miss the waiting game we used to. We used to wait for like, I remember going into Disco Diffusion, right? You waited about 40 to 60 minutes for one image. Yeah?
Wow, yeah.
And those images, each image was so appreciated because, wow, you could see so many good stuff in this image. It's just, you know, it was mind-boggling that the machine created that. It just insane.
Like fascinating.
Yeah.
Prompts was a real, like, it expanded your ideas on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And it was for me, like, and still is, like, extremely refreshing, be exploring a technology that is exploring ideas and data and how things can be visualized or projected in a similar way to our brains.
Yeah.
And to life itself. It's like, it's just very, honestly, like, I think it's a more interesting time to be alive. And I know there's like a lot of crazy stuff bubbling up and like a lot of negativity, etc. But like, really, if you look at the possibilities we have individually, collectively now with these tools, it's a whole new age for us, you know, for those who embrace it. And it's like, far from the struggles it felt at the beginning where I felt like I was screaming into the void with some of these tools, right? Or people truly weren't understanding or like really aggressively rejecting. Not that there's a lot of haters now, but it was like really hard for it to, like the enormity of it for people to, women people to click. Whilst now I think most people accept like, oh wow, there's a massive wave here.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, imagine if you would have an option to go back in the Renaissance and talk to Da Vinci, talk to, you know, all those artists. That would be the thing.
This is it. But I'm already talking to them.
Exactly, yeah.
In the house, you know, like all the people we have in our like different communities and stuff. I mean, it really feels like we're getting some, you know, co-create and think as we uncover this new space and connect dots and people in ways that probably do more good than we could ever do with our ones and zeros and our kind of our creations, etc., our businesses, whatever. Like, there's a lot of kind of good that's happening out of this from like a lot of cool people that have literally, let's be honest, converged around a new technology that flows their minds and kind of got in early, I think.
Yeah. Now back to that group of people. When you started Realdreams, right? Did you know what you were doing? And can you tell me more about the first days of Realdreams? Was it just a WhatsApp group? By the way, Realdreams is a WhatsApp group, and there are top people in AI landscape, and Justin is our big daddy. He created all of this, and it's one of the most fun groups out there, and one of the most knowledgeable and kind people who are so ready to share. I can't praise this group enough, and you inviting me to this group kind of changed my life. So thank you so much for this.
So, man, honestly, having you in it changed my life. I think out of everything that's happened in the last, 4 years or whatever, my whole life, Realdreams really feels like the coming together of the people I want to be around, like the sort of questions and things I want to be exploring.
Yeah.
And that energy is totally felt, man. Like just to see new people being added and just everyone getting along across technology and influencers and educators and creators, like everyone in their own right, like really killing it right now, right? Like really like leading in their own right. Like it's so nice to see everyone in one space, like all with the right energy, with the right collective sort of thing. Which kind of gives me like a lot of faith, like a lot again, this is being steered by a lot of really great people. And the tools are fantastic. And it's just the beginning, which is
great. Yeah. But
beginning.
But I really want to know what did that group look like when there were like 10, 15 people in it?
Yeah, so like at the beginning, there was like, I think about 20 odd of us artists working with OpenAI. And like the idea was I was going to roll out Danny to I think total they were like trying to reach a target of like 2,000 or something through these different people, right? And I just wanted to seriously drive that. And I thought like there's two ways of doing it. It's like online, which is harder to control, like Discord communities. It wasn't really gelling some of the things, or just in real life. Then I doubled down. I was like, in real life, I've got enough creative circles, and they've got circles, etc. So I actually quit my job at 10 years, and I chucked a bunch of my savings, as well as like the money I was receiving, etc., in just doing events. And I was essentially finding different creatives, whether you were a DOP or a filmmaker or an editor or like a fashion designer or art designer or a historian, like art historian or a painter. I just kept on finding people, or I was suggested people as it kind of expanded to kind of come into like at first my house, until my partner was like, can you stop doing this? And at 3 a.m. it's like conversations with everyone. Which was like people of all ages, just kind of open house, can't generate stuff. We just kept adding stuff to the wall. And then I kind of burst out that into East London, Shoreditch, and we had it for like 3 months. And there was, I mean, we was putting on events like every other day, different people being rolled onto the tours, and like more information around how they were exploring it, what they liked, what they didn't, what it was interesting, where it could improve, being fed back up to the engineers as well for OpenAI. And the idea was that you were just trying to channel as much kind of goods out of the explorations and understandings for the engineers to know where to kind of focus next. And a lot of that was like biases and prejudices, it doing bad things unexpected, like any ways you could kind of break the system. But as time went on, it was more kind of like, how can we improve it? Like it's come a long way, but it was always about like getting people to meet up in real life. And I think that's, to this day, even though like Realdreams is now more on WhatsApp, less in real life, because it was at one point we were doing events in Bronx and like in Amsterdam and all different places, kind of all at once. But I kind of, again, like a focus into ElevenLabs, and they just kind of work more on like film competitions and all of that. More with Realdreams, it was like meeting everyone, really, actually just hanging out with them, making it like personal. So it was like
Yeah, exactly. What did this group teach you? What were your outtakes with this group? This group is really, it's quite big, right? What did you learn from growing this group, from adding different people, from, you know?
Um, there's just no shortcuts with community. Full stop. There's no shortcuts. Um, you can't just buy or build or like make that stuff. You just can't. It's like your friendship group. And it's like, what else did I learn? Like, I thought I had to be a driving force for that forever. Be the energy, keep on going the extra mile, like meeting up with people, throwing events, like connecting dots, helping people. But like, what I realize now is like actually a lot of the good energy just comes from it, right? And I'm actually sapping it's more days than I'm feeling. And like honestly, like it's like just to see that it could kind of go around itself and like expand a little bit was like that was like wow, what's happened and what have we made? That's how it felt. Like what have we made? What else have I learned? That all the competition in this space can get a lot, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because you've got Promises, Siri, you've got the Door Brothers, even you've got Grail, you've got, you know, it's like so on and so forth, right? We all can all get along. We're all hanging out. We've got you guys, you know, like got Walk. You just got like an expanse of great heavy hitters in this space who can like all support each other. And like, I think I felt, at least in other work in my life or online, like more competitive stuff. So like, I'm really surprised to see like genuine like kindness and silliness in the community. And what else I learned? Like honestly, yeah, like
We'll get to that question. We'll get to that question a bit later about the studios and about how people are um, uh, working together. But I want to know, you started working with ElevenLabs pretty early, right?
yeah, there was like 25 people there or something like that. They just moved into an office in Soho. Or was it, sorry, no, it was somewhere else. It was like Bond Street or something. It was quite cramped. I was like, okay. I think originally went in for like a 4-day-a-week thing or something, but I quickly realized like, yeah, this is a fast, like growing rocket ship, intergalactic kind of UFO that speaks all the languages and is growing across all these incredible different technologies and spaces. And I couldn't help but like be like, okay, like this is 24/7 for me.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful team to work with. Like it was just so fun to bring what I'd learned from like commercial advertising, brands, kind of marketing and creation as a whole, you know, everything from like traditional and animation all the way to like right now with AI and what you can kind of, where you can really go a bit faster, concept quicker, or like even kind of execute more beautiful work like a higher level and a lot faster. Like it was a great challenge and opportunity to like really set the bar visually for like a tech company going in that space. And for me to learn, there was like so much for me to learn there from so many incredible, wild people. And yeah, like, and yeah, I stayed there for about a year. Managed to get my best friend working there, who's like still holding the fort, like mad, like absolutely killing it. Some of the best work I'm seeing, like Jack Morby.
Hey, Zach.
My partner there as well. So we're all very much like family and connected still, which is wonderful. And they're like growing so well right now. It's unbelievable.
Did you know back then that the story will get this big?
Which story?
The ElevenLabs story, because they're huge right now.
Totally. I think I noticed quite early on, like they're the biggest, the first. They've identified audio. They're killing it. They're also pushing into like conversational agents. They're sound effects, music, dubbing, like alone, like text to speech was what they were known for at the beginning, but it was like all these incredible things coming out. The platform for audiobooks and all the incredible technologies behind people being able to earn money, or the new economics behind like interest for using your voice or having your voice, like used as part of any sort of game system, whatever. Like, it's just really fascinating. Just knowing it was going to go so big. But what's really like interesting is at the speed in which everything's accelerating. Which also, like, I keep, like, that's the one thing I think, dude, in this space I have been like constantly surprised by, because I think things are going to go fast, and I believe in exponential curves. Yeah. At least kind of points like this where there's new technologies, right? It's extremely expansive, and it's going to like touch everything and everyone, right? And lots of things are going to converge. So the technology will just ramp up in so many ways, but still, it's like always going just like 10 miles an hour faster than I thought. Yeah. It was like, whoa, fill up the gas. Jesus Christ.
So what was the...
Well, that's good. I think lots of us in this space like that kind of intensity.
Oh yeah. It does keep me... It keeps you awake. 100%. So the idea of Wonder Studios was that the first idea that it came alive in the ElevenLabs, or was it the idea? Was it born before, or when was the conception idea?
Yeah, Wonder as a concept, although I didn't have the name Wonder, I kind of wanted it to be around imagination, curiosity, like something like that. But that's all. I've always wanted to do that just as I grew up in the industry, thinking, do I want to do like agency? Do I want to make film? Do I want to make games? What do I want to do? I knew I wanted a studio, because I knew with a studio I could kind of explore a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And I knew when I like pivoted into AI with OpenAI and like stability, but right at the beginning, I knew I was going to like lean in heavily, and like Realdreams was a company for a bit where we were doing some commercials, we were doing some music videos, very early experimental stuff in this space, and events and installations and all sorts of kind of quirky things. And that was actually at the beginning is the idea of it. But then at the other hand, it was like this beautiful community, and I didn't want to kind of like package a community. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like that felt weird. So it's like I knew that I wanted to build something of my own. And while I was at ElevenLabs, because I wasn't needing to kind of pay the rent through Realdreams work and stuff, I was able to, like as I said, really focus on that being strong community and giving back to the people as much as fucking possible.
Yeah.
Through ElevenLabs, through the leverage, through the different tech companies and the partners and things that were going on, it just felt like that was like the best thing to do. And then when I started ElevenLabs as well, I remember Matty, the co-founder, asked me like, what do you want to do? This, that, the other, how long will you be? I did say like I'd be like a year or two. The idea for me was always to go on and make films, at least as a first step, or find ways to fund films. So I kind of went in with telling them we was going to do that, and I kind of only felt comfortable going when I felt like it set up what needed to be set up, and there was a brilliant team, brilliant kind of quality bar for some of the work. The company has grown from like 26 people to 169 or something, and experienced 2 offsites or more maybe even. And it's just, I don't know, it was just like, it was at this perfect point where I was like, okay, the tools is getting so good now. I've met Xavier, the co-founder. We've been exploring a few like projects, film trailers, different like bits and bobs. And he was like, listen, we could base like a pre-seed, which was enough essentially for me, him and a small team to kind of like explore these tools and explore this space for another 2 years or something. But what happened is when we did that, I said goodbye, ElevenLabs. I was a bit scared as well, as you can imagine. The money came through. I just had a baby when he first born, and then boom, like 6 months later or something, we'd shown there was like enough market fit, i.e., there's enough way to make money in this space, to connect, partner with different places, with an IP, some of the tooling that we're doing, like all sorts of different things that allowed us to go a bit further, push a bit harder, where we've just raised another round now. So a total of $15 million in it, which really is going, when I like bottle it down to like, where's that money go? Is it on like fucking Lambos? No, it's really on the high quality people and making kind of really good, just like making bets on like good ideas, good ways to connect these tools to the existing industry and to the emerging kind of creative industry, which is important to me. Like indie films and indie filmmaking is very important to me. Education, schools, kind of having an understanding or access to these tools, etc. is only important to me. But also like making sure some of the best people in the industry have been making, like leading the way for so long, can still continue to like steer the ships they kind of hold, and so I've reached to other smaller spaces that could obviously like love to work alongside them. So in a kind of condensed way, like Wonder is a partner. It's a bit a bridge using this technology more than anything.
It's put very well. It's a partner, right? And you have to engage a lot of yourself into this relationship, right? So what would you say, which part of building Wonder Studios was more emotional than you expected?
Emotional, that was, yeah. We pivoted a lot in US at the beginning, which felt like scary. It's more expensive. It's definitely on a different time zone, right? So I'm like traveling to travel a lot more. But there's a massive market there. There's more opportunities. There's more innovation for us. You know, unfortunately, like some places in Europe, England, kind of like getting there, like not on the up. Obviously, Emma coming out with me sometimes, which was great, but it was like there was a lot, like there was already like a lot going on, like hiring in loads of territories, kind of going international almost immediately. Was terrifying, but really paid off. Now we have teams kind of across the globe that can work on different timelines, can work on different briefs, and can like rapidly creatively develop and kind of create stuff. And then we're kind of going to what the work is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finding partners where they're at, which is the beauty of these tools. Like, I think it really attracts the right sorts of people.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was also emotional. I remember we were having the first ever call, and you mentioned that you are gonna become a dad. You remember that? Anyway, the thing is that I've been speaking to a lot of dads in this industry, and one thing that is pretty hard is handling the balance between family life and professional life. I mean, we both know that this industry is moving so freaking fast that you blink and it's gone, right? So how do you just turn off and go to your family and spend your time with the baby and your partner?
I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like, I think we, like, Emma is now working with Wanda, which is great. So in some ways, we're really synced up, which helps a lot, actually, as like having that assistant, having like the kind of crazy speed and the kind of like having to travel around a lot, all synced up with the fam is great. But she, you know, she's been coming with me as much as she felt comfortable because she's pregnant now again.
Oh, congrats. Oh, wow.
But like, we've just been keeping supporting each other, keeping each other happy, trying to like laugh through the madness. And honestly, dude, it's like I can't explain it. Like AI gives me all the energy in the world. Baby gives me all the energy in the world. And by the time I'm doing that stuff, I can sleep a little bit. I don't need my sleep. It's extremely energizing, all this stuff. I think if you really are energized by your work, it drains you less.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come without moments where I like burn out.
Yeah.
And I guess what, that people, oh my God, burn out. But like, honestly, it's good sometimes to kind of go sprinting, like really sweat, and like push yourself. And then there's times where you want to like sit back and pick legs up and compress and actually like watch some crap TV and like feel a bit low and feel a bit like whatever crap, right? I just take those, I kind of push myself a lot to find where those limits are. And I can tell if I start getting cranky, that's often when I'm like, okay, I need to go walk in the park.
So back to studio, what was the wildest internal debate you had at Wonder where everyone passionately disagreed, but everyone was also technically right?
Schwartz. That's actually a difficult one.
I mean, yeah, that's a difficult one because you need to find it. All right, cool.
We're a new growing business and we need to play the game. Like you need to like use social media in a certain way. You need to upload things with a hook and this, that, and the other, and blah blah blah. There's formulas, there's ways thumbnails should look, there's all this sort of stuff. I'm substance over algorithm. They make it more personal rather than formulaic. I get the formula stuff, so that bit's harder for me. I need to stop being such like a purist and like such a craft, like having talk and just like let things be a bit more. But I think that's one place where like some of the team like super strong and like ops and growth and marketing and like actually everything they're saying is 100% spot on.
Mm.
And then the other teams like crafts people and they want like things to be deep and kind of meaningful, like really well done or like showing stuff things. So like that's the two worlds. But honestly, we kind of, it's like laughable how less like it's such a little thing. Really. So far, no drama. But like, Luke, you'll be the first one I'm calling crying when there is.
So I mean, the Realdreams has been, I see it as an oasis, right? Where you have all different beasts drinking out of the lake, you know, and, you know, leaving each other alone. You know, here is, I will let you drink, I will let you eat, you know. But there are different studio owners, different studio people, right? So how do you see each other? Do you see each other as competitors, as collaborators, or maybe even future Wonder partners?
Seen the film? Have you seen the film Fight Club?
Of course.
So that's what we.
Oh, we won't talk about this.
Yes. Have you seen Takeshi's Castle?
Yes, of course.
So actually, what we do, like, because we have to support each other today, we all we all meet up, do my costumes, etc. Like I go as like the pink Power Ranger. Everyone's like doing their thing. We just like beat the hell out of each other with like soft toys and war pistols, massive like balls and stuff. We like swing at each other. No, I'm joking, but that should be a real dream.
Yeah. That's like, yeah. What look, when you get another round of funding, you will buy all of us plane tickets. There you go. Yeah, and we will make this happen. Exactly.
Is that right? When we like something like Takeshi's Castle is happening with Realdreams Plus.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
All right.
Yeah, I think most of the time, like everyone meets up at like incredible events like the Upscale thing, or it's just like, there's some load of us at the Adobe Max thing. There's a lot more happening actually now in like London, in Sweden, like around the world, Amsterdam, AI Amsterdam, etc. Like there is a lot more of the things, and it's kind of great going to places because I know someone's going to be like, hey, you know, take a few photos. No, banana.
Yeah. Oh my God. I remember the first one when Nano Banana came out. The event in Cannes.
Explain what everyone was doing again. Like, it was two people who were actually in real life, right? It was Matt
And Dave.
Clark.
Yeah.
Just that?
It was just them on the boat.
So it's them, like, legit on the boat.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, and the Matthew, right? Took a picture and he put himself, like, in a, like lifeboat.
I think that the third was Billy Bowman.
Like, guys, way up. The PJ was flying in.
Exactly.
Everyone's suddenly adding themselves in. And so my favorite one, I don't know who did it, but they got a photo of like all of us.
Yeah.
And then put it in an art gallery. Looking at it like art in the future. To be honest, like in a weird way, like there's the kind of better truth in that, right? Because it was the first time I'd really seen like a free-flowing, curated meme with like people in it, all collectively. And it really, and then, you know, there was a moment like that, I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of how things are going to be so much more fun, like with communication and that, WhatsApp, etc. And then when Sora 2 dropped, with cameos, I was like, bloody hell, it's happening. Wow, and look how good this is.
Yeah.
Like, this is, it's going to be so, like my sons, just because it's another boy as well, they're going to grow up in a world where, like, collaborative co-creation is going to be like instantaneous, like kind of unlimited and free, and probably like in some spaces like even quite profitable, you know, like play to like win to play.
Yeah.
Learn to play.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So listen, what would you say to newcomers, to people who are getting their feet wet in AI? Should they, or even if they are in industry for some time now, should they join the AI studio? Should they start their own, or should they remain or become freelancers? What is your vision?
As a stepping stone, I would say learn. Okay, find communities, find people. People, great. I learned so much from Realdreams, and like, there's so many communities out there, right? There's so many. Go to a few events, watch a few films, watch a few like videos. Wherever you want to go and deep into Comfy UI, you've got Lighthouse. If you want to like just explore some of the top level tools, got Warp, etc. I think it's like always explore a little bit and try and do a few jobs with some studios, maybe. Like, reach out to creators that you actually like in this space. Doesn't have to be everyone. Say, like, hey, I'd be willing to do this, or like, this is my rate if you've already done it before. And then once you're finding your feet, then, like, you have kind of two options. You could kind of either just do your own thing as a freelancer, right? Like, create your own art and be, like, the king of your own castle. And like, power to you. Or you could kind of, like, curate a studio, which is probably, like, there's going to be sacrifices there. You're going to have to, like, grow out of like a 2, 3, 4 person if you want to go big, right? It depends. Or join one, you know, like this is it. Like there's going to be, I believe there's going to be some real big like heavy hitters, the likes of like, you know, Pixar's and your DreamWorks and your Lionsgates and your kind of Warner Brothers, etc. coming out of this generation. And I think we know a lot of those people in those companies already, Lucas. So it's, you know, like I say, it's to anyone thinking about it, it's like, do it, you know. If you're going to have to at some point, the beautiful thing is right now you're early and you've already got the itch. the space is quite small. What I mean by that is like you can actually connect through to people at the tech companies and in these creative studios and in these creative circles quite easily. There's less like noise and things trying to take your money or like steer you, like whatever. Like right now it's pure. So it's a really kind of good time to lean in. And if deep down you're like, no, I'm just scared of these tools, this, that, and the other, and I know it's definitely part of creativity. It's like, I think you've already like made you brave, unfortunately. And maybe just like there's other stuff you can do in the universe, which makes you feel good, makes, you know, like, adds value.
Yeah. Listen, I want to ask you, I mean, 5 years ago, if someone would ask me what is the world going to look like in 5 years, I would say this. No. If 5 years ago, someone would ask me, what would world look like in 5 years? I would say this and this and this and this. Of course, I would be completely wrong because it's going into completely other direction. But could you, as an insider, because you know a lot of studio and a lot of people from the traditional media, from the new media, are you able to predict or even imagine what the world will look like in 5 years and where the Wonder Studio will be in 5 years?
I think we're at the very beginning of the whole industry, and like all areas that deal with entertainment, communication, education, and every sort of business that exists now is going to like implement versions of some of these tools, right? Or all of these tools, like, and start off more like foundationally. So we're going to see like a huge economic growth, like across the board. Like it's not going to come without like moments where it fluctuates, you know, up and down, up and down. Like Bitcoin's had many like massive dips since 2011.
Yes.
It's been trending upwards, like technologies in that space been trending upwards, even though there's a lot of crap. And I think the same is going to happen in this space. But like ultimately, we're now in this new age where we have robotics and we have like, I'd say like super capable intelligence across kind of all fields that is accessible really cheaply, like to anyone who's got a mobile device or computer. And I think we're gonna like go into like an enlightenment period, and what I mean by that is we're now having to ask the questions because of these technologies, like what do we do next? How do we steer this? How can we make things better with the technologies? How do we prevent bad things with these technologies because of these technologies? Blah blah blah. So there's like a lot of learning, upskilling to do, and I think the more people get comfortable with the idea of asking questions about not just things, but things they care about, things they want to get involved in, we're going to start to shift from what was quite polarizing, like energy as a species, quite like an argumentative, you know, negative. From like creativity, like the democratization of like these tools and access to expression and like money and with IP and all the stuff that it unlocks for creatives, giving them more control now, right, in this industry, which is so paramount. Like that is so unlocking. Any creative using these tools, they know that, like, wow, I am free now. I can kind of do what I want. The problem is, what do I pick? Because it's so much opportunity. This is the thing. So like we're gonna keep on feeling that, and not just in creativity, in loads of different sectors. Like think about education, think about health, and loads of different sciences where like people can now like tap into all sorts of old data sets or new data sets and really like connect them to super capable multimodal kind of systems, visualize things, bring back history in ways we can interact with, talk to, you know, like it's going to be a wild ride, Luca. But I think we're going to look back in 5 years from now and be like, wow, can you think we were wobbling about the old way when we have now all these new systems that like bring fairness, bring better education, more access to information, that kind of like create tools, everything. Like, and like probably maybe a true state like shift up as a species, right? Which I think we've been needing for a long time, like a new kind of renaissance period of technology. So,
At the beginning of every new technology, there's a first wave of enthusiasts, of fanatics, of dreamers, of crazy people, and those all get along because we're so different, right? And we're exploring, we are imagining, we are building, we are doing so many stuff with this new technology, right? But this is the first stage, right? The second stage, I think right now we are in the second stage where everything gets, the romanticism gets a bit, eases up a bit, that we see things more clearly, then we have some specific goals and plans, okay, this is going to work like this, we're going to do this and this and this. But in every technology, there is a period where business and money comes in. And then a whole landscape changes. Do you think where we are in this stage, is it coming quickly? Because we have seen some houses, let's not mention any, but they have been using the open source workflows from people and packing them into products without referring anyone, right? Is it wrong morally? I don't know. You tell me. Is it wrong business-wise? Of course not. I mean, it's free and they just packed it. But do you think it's fair? And when do you think we will get into the phase 3 where like all the technologies have this hyper capitalistic rise where people don't matter anymore. All that matters is success, business, and money.
Yeah, I think there's a way to mitigate, or at least to extend the periods where you would kind of have us kind of almost caving back into the automation age of just optimization. I think things are going to be pretty wild and expansive for a fair. This is the thing. Technology moves really fast, right? Faster than any of us will, even like coming in early. But people move slowly. The world moves slow. Things take a while to really like think in the different generation, the different systems, the different people, and that's fair. So actually, I think it's just going to take a long time for us to get anywhere near a point where it can kind of go bad again, like be more like about greed or whatever. And by that point, like we're going to have probably ASI. So we will also have on our side a kind of super intelligence that will be, in my belief, a lot of people's belief, like probably pretty considerate and careful about like how we continue to grow and expand alongside it. It won't want to like squish us. I think that's like old kind of scaremongering, kind of great, but like not true science fiction. That's like the idea that it will need to have those baseline survival things to expand, which if we don't in the rates, this is it. If we can move to a place where like some of the basics of life are lifted across the board, which can totally happen, that should be our collective kind of goal, right? Like, or as individuals, right? Like in any way, shape, or form. But if we can do that, we do that with AI, then like we have unlocked everything, really. Now, it's not going to say we're not going to have problems, because I think a lot of people, this is what it comes down to. It's hard for us to imagine that, truly, because it's hard to imagine meaning without like hard survival. Right?
Well put.
And that's where I go to bed at night sometimes, going like, you know, if we continue as a species towards the path of good, which I think we're going to, like, done so far for thousands and thousands of years, no matter what, then, like, at what point do we get? And, like, wow, what does that even look like? It's kind of hard to imagine. It's going to be a playground, dude. I just want to make sure I put my people play in that, like, space with.
Yeah. I mean, cooperation, collaboration is the key here. And we as a civilization, we have made the best moves when we collaborated together. And speaking of collaboration, we have some news to break today. Are we? Yes. So before it goes out tomorrow on all the socials, on all the media, it's here that you will hear it first. But you want to break it?
I mean, okay, I'll split the first.
All right.
Since the day I met Luke, I knew that we'd find a way to collaborate, and I really wanted to kind of allow us to find a way we could continue to push towards the same goals together. And I think we've finally found that. Luke, what we got and done.
So just to add to this, we spend a lot of time figuring out how, right? But we figured it out. And as of tomorrow, we are announcing the Lighthouse and Wonder Studios partnership. And Lighthouse is going to be an education source for Wonder Studios. So there it is, guys. Our first big partnership with Lighthouse. And I'm so happy that it comes from Wonder. I'm so happy for you guys to get into the Lighthouse and the Lighthouse get into the Wonder Studios story. And I bet that together we will move mountains.
It was like always on the cards with collab dudes.
Yeah.
And to be able to now have Wonder Lighthouse pushing towards education.
Yeah.
With, you know, in my opinion, the OG go in like deep technical engineering tools and like everything else, hyper specialist, super general. OG made me so happy, and think of all the great people you can help along the way, dude.
Exactly, and that's our goal. Lighthouse goal is to equip people with knowledge to thrive in the new era, in the new Renaissance era. And for people to become the new Da Vinci's, the new Donatellos, the new, all four Ninja Turtles.
They might be watching, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
We need them.
Yeah.
I can't wait to unearth all that talent, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's been an absolute pleasure, dude.
Thank you, Justin, so much. And of course, please check out the Lighthouse website and find a course for you. We have creative leaders. We have advanced coffee. We are introducing basic coffee, and we are working on a couple of more courses. We are designing, working very hard. So please check out our website, lighthouseacademy.ai. And I bet that you will find something that was made for you. So thank you so much, Justin. It was a pleasure. I hope to see you soon live.
Yeah, come on, man. Let's meet up.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Let me get you to London.
Yeah, you should, man. You should. You promised.
Yeah, no,
All right. Thanks, Justin. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
All right.